The Sea Woman is a central figure in the spirituality of the Inuit, the indigenous people of the territory that is today northern Canada, Alaska, and Greenland. From a Western, settler colonial worldview, the Sea Woman is interpreted as a deity. This notion actually stems from the Western theological worldview of the first anthropologists that studied her story and her cultural significance. In reality, for the Inuit and other indigenous people of the Arctic, the Sea Woman was seen as an ancestral figure, not as a goddess. Various Arctic cultures tell the tale of the Sea Woman. Although these stories vary greatly from region to region, they all speak of the figure of the Sea Woman. She is known by various names. The Netsilik Inuit of Nunavut call her Nuliayuk. For the Inuit of the region of Coronation Gulf in Nunavut, who are also known as the Northern Copper Inuit, the Sea Woman is known as Arnap Kapfaluk. For the Kalalit of Western Greenland, she is known as Arnarquashak. The Inuit of Northern Greenland call her Nerevik. Many versions of this story exist due to the Inuit oral tradition. When a story is written down, it loses its changeable quality, turning a dynamic story into a static one. The version of the story of the Sea Woman that I will recount originates from the Inuit of northern Baffin Island. It is the story of Sedna, also known as Sana in Inuktitut. There was once a young woman named Sedna who lived with her father. Many men tried to woo her, but none succeeded. Then, in the spring, a fulmar flew over the cracking ice and disguised himself as a man to seduce her. He promised her a land with an abundance of food, soft animal pelts, an oil lamp that never emptied, a life free from wanting. Sedna accepted, and they crossed the sea together to reach the land of birds. Unfortunately, when they arrived, Sedna realized that the fulmar had deceived her. Instead of soft animal skins, her bed was made of tough walrus hide. The birds only brought her fish to eat. Her tent was made of fish skins and full of holes that let in the cold wind. She regretted choosing the fulmar over the other men. She called out to her father in woe, wishing he would come and take her back home. A year later, Sedna's father came to the land of birds to visit her. She begged him to take her home. When he heard how the fulmar had treated his daughter, he swore revenge. Now furious, her father killed the fulmar and took Sedna on his boat to head back home. The other fulmars found their dead brother, and they mourned and cried, as they still do to this day. The birds pursued Sedna and her father and stirred up a storm. The waters became troubled, and large waves rocked their boat. The father decided to offer Sedna to the birds to calm the storm. He threw her overboard, but she gripped onto the edges of the boat. Her father then began to cut off her fingers to loosen her grip on the boat. The first joints of her fingers fell into the sea and became whales, the nails becoming whalebone. The second joints of her fingers fell into the sea, and they became ringed seals. Finally, the last joints of her fingers fell into the sea and became bearded seals, and Sedna herself fell into the water. In many versions of this story, it ends here, with Sedna sinking into the deep and becoming the Sea Woman, the guardian of the sea animals hunted by the Inuit for food. Although, in this version, Sedna is pulled back onto the boat once the storm subsides, as the fulmars believed she had drowned. But Sedna now harbored a great hatred for her father. When they got to the shore, she set her dogs on him, and they gnawed off his hands and feet. Her father cursed them all, and the earth opened up and swallowed him, the dogs, Sedna, and their hut. They then resided together in Adlivun, the underworld. The Sea Woman has an important role in relation to the Inuit way of hunting, as well as Inuit reciprocity and respect. The Inuit of South Baffin Island believed that the souls of the hunted animals stayed in the animal's body 3 days after its death, and then went down to Sedna's home, and she would send them back out. If a custom or taboo is not respected during those 3 days where the animal's soul is still with its body, those disrespectful acts stick to the soul, making it difficult for the soul to return to Sedna. When they return to her, these attachments harm her, and she sends out sickness, bad weather, and starvation instead of animals. Other versions of this story tell that her hair becomes tangled with the souls of animals affected by broken taboos. As Sedna has no fingers, she cannot untangle her hair. A shaman must then journey to her and comb and braid her hair, renewing the camp's relationship with her. This story expresses Inuit reciprocity with their environment and food sources. If the hunters showed respect for the animals they hunted, the Sea Woman continued to send them animals to hunt for their survival. In today's era of extreme climate change and disregard for the environment, reciprocity with the environment is crucial. In Nunavut, global warming threatens food security, Inuit traditional activities, infrastructure, and much more. The effects of our imbalanced relationship with nature are most drastic and most visible in the Arctic.